Hello, my name's Ivan Humble. I'm a former regional organiser and active member of the English Defence League. I was caught up in a world of hate for just over 5 years, which, because of my past and my lived experience, I believe gives me a valuable insight into some of the current issues we're facing today, and maybe a way forwards. That 2 years speaking to the Muslim community was me understanding my misconceptions and maybe my journey. But what I did after that was, I had a problem with immigrants as well, do you know what I mean? Because the way the media framed it. So I wasn't working either while I was in the EDL. I was a single dad. So when I left, I found a job. My boss, or my supervisor for that job, was a black Portuguese man who had come to this country. So as you can imagine, a bit out of my comfort zone when I started that job, but he knew of my background because I had to, obviously that sort of background you have to tell the employers nothing comes up. He knew my background, but once I got to know him, heard his story of how he come in and his struggles, we become really good friends. And it was from there, he then took me into the Portuguese community in Great Yarmouth, the next town for me, to meet others. And I had a period of probably about 18 months learning about my hate. So with Manwar, the Muslim guy, he invited me to lots of multicultural events that he put on. The biggest one that I remember, the best one that I remember was he put one on for 50 Syrian refugees that was then being rehoused and placed in Ipswich. So he thought it'd be a good idea if I met them. So I went to meet them, heard their stories. Although it wasn't the adults that changed me that day, it was the kids. I met kids from all ages, the littlest, do you know what I mean? And they taught me a big lesson that day, that my kids get too much. Do you know what I mean? So Manwar's been a big influence in helping me not only challenge me, but to help me learn to understand my hate, which is where I'm now, where I am, because the second chance he gave me and a couple of other people on my journey, that there's another time, another reason I do the work I do is because there's another woman, a white woman called Debbie. So after I left the EDL, after a couple of months of work, and I rang her up and said, Debbie, I'm at a crossroads. I don't know what to do. Because she was our local hate crime service. I said, how do you know? Because they'd followed us for a little while. So I got quite a good rapport with her. I said, as you know, I've had 5 years of experience of hating people. What can I do with it? Because I'm now coming to that stage again where I was before. Still a bit of a loner. Lost a lot of friends due to me leaving the EDL, a lot of hate and a lot of things followed. What can I do? And then she offered me, I think it was everything's by chance. I mean, she had then planned to do a thing in my hometown, a workshop on medicalisation for autistic people and learning difficulties. So she invited me along there. So when I turned up, 9 o'clock in the morning to this event, I was met at the door by 3 policemen from our local police force. They heard that I was going to this workshop. Even though I'd been left to EDL 6 months, they thought I was still at risk. They wouldn't let me in the building. So I had to ring Debbie up and get Debbie down and say, Debbie, these guys won't let me in. Because she told them more or less where to go. And from that point then, that second chance she gave me that day has pushed me to do all this, do you know what I mean? After leaving the EDL and learning from my past the last few years, I found a new sense of belonging with an organisation called Me and Education, where I work with a Muslim guy, which is quite powerful through my story. It's just simply 2 different perspectives, 2 different people, 2 different backgrounds coming together through one voice, and that's just a mainly engagement. And the strapline for the Me and Education is to create a conversation, which, look at current issues nowadays, there's not many conversations going on. It's more arguing, more debating about who's right or wrong. There's no middle ground in some of these issues. Nobody's prepared to take a risk, step out of their comfort zone and say, Let's have a proper conversation. Let's have the difficult conversation that half of you I'm going to agree with. Because I keep saying this over and over again the last few years, that I had a blinker view back then, but so does many other people. In fact, every other person, whatever side you're on, whatever perspective you have, you're only seeing that view. And it's not until we sit down around the table, we all explain our view to each other, see things at a bigger picture, will we see change. We're still labeling people, still pigeonholing people. Where's the people that's going to say, right, this needs to stop. We need the conversations. Labeling's got us nowhere for years and years and years. It's about breaking that circle at last, get around the table and have that conversation with people of difference, with the people you're arguing with. It's not truly until we come together like that will we see change. And I hate saying that because I like to have hope, but until we sit around that table together, hope's slowly dying, and we're just seeing massive division like we're seeing now. And it will increase, it won't get better if we don't put a stop to it now. Another big thing about somebody like me is, as well, is as a former, you're only ever seen for your past. I'm not really seen for what I can be. I'm still seen as my past, which is hard. It's hard to move on for that label still, even though I'm not that person anymore. I got nominated this year for the National Diversity Awards. So I've been as a positive role model in race, religion and faith. So that was quite an honour being nominated for that. But the good thing about that award is, that I didn't know, is everybody who nominates you, you get to read the nominations, but you don't get to see who they're from. And looking through some of them, I'm not going to lie to you, I was in tears, because you don't understand the impact of your work. Do you know what I mean? Because I think out of that 87, I think 5 of them are from previous members of the far right. 4 of them were EDL members who has been watching my journey, and they've said in the nominations that we've been following you and we see that you're doing the right thing. They've left the movements. There's somebody there from an extreme far right group who's put their thing in. So I am making a difference, but you just don't see it. So I've just got to wait now till I think the 22nd of July to see if I made the shortlist. But even if I don't make it, seeing that feedback, what people really think, means everything.